Welcome to the Quarter 1 Level 12 of ELA Progress Check for River City Academy. My name's Tad. I'm the ELA teacher here. And hopefully this little video will show you what kind of progress we expect from your child in Level 12 so far this year. So to check this, we first have to go to Empower. So you have to log into Empower. And then when you get there, you got to find the Level 12 ELA tile. It's the one with the little character in the graduation gown, and it says ELA 12. And you scroll over it, and you click on it, and it opens up the level. And the first thing you'll see are the 4 different areas that ELA 12 focuses on. It focuses on reading, writing, language, and speaking. This is an imaginary student, a perfect student that I've developed for the purposes of this video. So this student has done absolutely everything I've asked them to do throughout the first quarter of 2016. And if your student can match the progress of this student, then they're doing just fine. So let's start in reading. When we click on reading, it opens up all the different reading standards, and as we scroll down through the reading standards, you'll also notice there's book report standards down there too. We have not been able to accomplish much in reading so far this quarter because we're reading a book called Alaska by Michener, and it is a daunting book to read. It's going to take us quite a bit longer to get through it, but once we do, we'll be able to attack a whole bunch of these standards. So I don't have much expectations for reading so far. But I do want to point out something down here with the book reports. We are reading a long book. I doubt we're going to get 5 books, full books read by the end of the year. So it is very important that your son or daughter be reading independently at home because they need 5 level appropriate books to get through this level. So they're going to have to be reading at home in order to achieve that. So that's something to think about. Let's go back up. To do that, we go to this folder with the up arrow, and that takes us back to the 4 main areas of ELA. We've talked about reading, and now let's go and see what's expected in writing. We click on that, and we see that there are some things that they should have done in writing. These icons indicate to you whether or not your son or daughter has completed these. There's 4 different pictures that could show up in this upper right hand corner. The one you're looking at right here under the expository essay is just a kid sitting at a desk working. So that means that this is a standard we're still working on, or that it hasn't even been assigned yet. So it's nothing to worry about if you see the working on icon. The star that you see under the narrative here means that it has been assigned and it has been completed by the student, and it was at either proficient or advanced, so it is done. They don't have to worry about that tile anymore. All right, 2 other icons that might appear there. One is of note to you, and that is a late clock. If you were to see a late clock up here, that would be a red flag for you to indicate that your son or daughter did not complete that, didn't turn it in, I didn't get it. So they either weren't proficient in it or blew it off completely, and that's problematic. So we got to get that work to me as soon as possible so I can get it put in and get them caught up. Another icon you might see is one you don't see often, but it might be a mail, a letter, an icon of a letter that looks like it's going through the mail, and that indicates that they did something and they turned it in, but it hasn't been scored or put into Empower yet. So the 4 different icons, again, you could have a star, which means it's done, the child at the desk working, which means it's not yet been assigned, or the mail, which means they sent it to me, or the late clock, which is the red flag, meaning that I didn't get it and that needs to be taken care of. So that's what you're looking for. And as you can see, we have done 2 different papers in this class so far. We've done a research paper, we did a Russian research paper, and we also have been assigned a narrative, and both of those should be complete by the end of the quarter, by the time you're seeing this video. So this perfect student has a star indicating that those 2 standards are completely done. We also are looking for 2 stars down here under the peer edits. Right? Out of the 4 of them total, they should have 2 done by now. So 2 stars down there we're looking for. So let's go back up to the 4 main parts of English, And we've done reading and writing, so let's now look at language. This is where we embed the skills. Kids study concepts and then take tests on them. So if we open up language, we'll see that hyphens has been assigned to them, and they should have completed it by now. And this student is showing that there's a star. They're done with it. So that has been taken care of. It's scored either a proficient or advanced, and this child no longer has to worry about that tile. They can work on other tiles. Another one we've completed is the root words. So root words should have a star on it. So if you're looking at your child's and you don't see a star on hyphens and root words, that is definitely something to ask them about. These other two we will work on later on in the year. Good, so that completes language. Let's move on to speaking, the last section we need to talk about. If I click on that, there's a bunch of stuff that shows up, including media analysis. This has been an assignment that was assigned to them. They should have completed it by now, and it should have a star. So if it doesn't, that's problematic, and you should ask them about that. Speech analysis we haven't done yet. Friday discussions. We have done, by the time you see this video, we will have done 7 of them. I think there's 6 in there now, but let's open it up and take a look, and you can see the 6 different titles that we've done, and you can see that this student has a star on all of them, which means they were there for the discussion, they took part, and they wrote the response, and it was graded, and it was either proficient or advanced. Good. So let's go back. And so in addition to media analysis and Friday discussion, we're also looking for a star on one of the 4 presentations, because the last week of the quarter we did debates, and your child should have taken part in the debate and should have at least one of these presentation tiles completed. So we're looking for a star on 3 of these tiles. So let's go back up. And that pretty much wraps up what's expected through the tiles, but I do want to show you one other view that you can see of their progress, and that's their snapshot. To see their snapshot, you have to go to the Empower word up here on the left, scroll over it, and click on it. And when you click on it, you get this screen. And if you scroll down to Progress Reporting, you'll find a tile named Student Snapshot. And if you click on that, for you, their snapshot will pop right up. For me, I have to scroll down and find the child because I have everybody in school. So I'm looking for my perfect student that I made, little Schmo. There he is. So I click on him, and here's his snapshot. The cool thing about the snapshot is it shows everything that the tiles do, but it gives you additional information. That's why I want to show it to you. So let's click on level 12 because that's the level your child is in. And you click on 12 for ELA, and all the standards will pop up below. So you want to scroll down, and then we can see all the things that we've done. It just simply matches the tiles that you saw stars on. So more specific information, why you want to look here is, for example, right here on root words. You can actually determine the actual score that your child received on that test. In this case, it was 100%. All right, really well done. Let's scroll down and see if there's any more deep information. Here we are for the hyphens test. We can see that this student got a 97% on it. That's why it's done. Again, root words, 100% was done there. Let's keep scrolling. When we get to the narrative, remember on the tiles, all you could see was a star. But in the snapshot, you can see that this student actually turned in a 4-wheeler accident narrative. All right, so we can see the actual title of the paper. For the research paper, it was a Russian research paper that they wrote, and you can see that too. So again, nice detailed information. Finally, the last section, speaking and listening, we look down here and we can see the Friday discussions we did, the ad analysis, and we can find out that that presentation they did, the debate, was actually a smoking ban debate, and the title of it's right there, so you could ask your child about that if you so desire. So there you go. One last thing I want to show you is the percentage through the level. This is great to know. We're looking for, at the quarter mark, 25% through the level, so that by May we can be 100% through the level. And to determine that percentage, you just take the first number here, divide it by the second number, In this case, it's 8.2 of 29, so 8.2 divided by 29 on a calculator, and when you calculate that out, you'll see that it's 28.3%, which is just slightly above the target 25% that we were looking for. So that's really good progress. Last thing I want to mention before we go is that although some of your children may have different tiles completed, and to me it doesn't matter which assignments they have done. If they don't have the exact ones I just showed you, that's okay, but the key thing is that we're looking for at least 25% progress through the level. All right, so that's the key thing. So you definitely want to look for that. Excellent. Hopefully now you can do a check with your child and make sure that everything's going smoothly and that they're making the adequate progress through ELA. Thanks for listening.